Zoomer here. How do I walk? I'm not sure I ever really learned how to do it. I am 19 years old. In before what? I can barely really walk for any extended amount of time without stumbling all the time, or my knees and ankles start wobbling around their sockets. I'm prone to falling over. It's never been a big issue in my life, but I've been trying to go outside more, and I'm really struggling. I trip and fall over everything. It's hard to even look where I'm going. The sun blinds me and disorients me. I have a dissociative disorder, too, which makes it hard to focus on the world. Does anyone have similar issues? Any advice? My great-grandmother planted a mulberry tree when she got married and moved into the ancestral multi-generation home. My grandfather planted pecan trees when he got married. House has been in the family since the 1850s and was constantly expanded and improved until the 1950s. Boomer dad, uncles, and aunts who all move out instead of living in the family home and scattered to different states across the country. Great-grandparents and grandparents have no one to look after them as they age except for each other, and they die one by one. Only one grandma left, and she lives all alone now. Family get-together. Everybody visits. Boomers all bitch about the mulberry tree dropping sap and mulberries on their cars, making them go to the car wash. Boomers collectively get together and chainsaw through great-grandma's mulberry tree to a stump. Can't understand why grandma is upset that they just pruned the tree. Grandma cries about her mother's tree being destroyed and goes back inside. They helpfully chainsaw all of grandpa's pecan trees because they're afraid the trees that are 50 yards from the house might fall on it during a storm. Now grandma is upset they cut down all of her dead husband's trees and demands they all leave. Boomers bitch that this is why they don't visit more often. Next year, neighbor finds grandma dead on the sidewalk from an aneurysm. Grandma had some heirlooms that she wanted me specifically to inherit because the only grandchild with any interest in family history. Boomers toss all of her antique furniture on the curb for trash pickup, fill cans with family photos dating back to the 1800s, and scream at me for rescuing trash when I wanted to save some. Man, that's so sad. I recently had to, Grandpa died recently, and, so we cleaned out their place, and, well, there was a handful of stuff that was just, okay, Grandma, you don't need Halloween decorations from the 80s. It's practically falling apart. There was some stuff that I did rescue and hold on to. There's this little box. There's a cool box my grandpa had. And I don't know what he used it for, but I put my my wallet, my keys, stuff that you grab right before going out the door in it. And yeah, man. You might not think it, but you have a lot of connection to the past. And the past connection through you. And it's important to remember those. Because to have roots in where you're from will help you know where you're going. Look at me waxing poetical about while looking at a 4chan post and being represented by a green orc with an autism hat. Yeah. Here's a long one. Do you want to hear a feelsy story /fit? The poli-sci major, a small liberal arts college. Yeah, I know I hate the job prospects. But the community is nice and the department is staffed with experts in the field. Bros are all cool as fuck, even made a few fembros while there. And then there's the fat bitch. Easily 300 pounds. Goes to class on a scooter half the time. Social justice warrior. And on top of that, department chair. When was this posted? 2013. Anyway, she's actually quite accomplished in what she does. Worked with the State Department, if I remember correctly. And she's been around for forever. She was also on one of those early feminists. She once described herself as a Dworkin disciple, whatever that means, and is one of those people who believes that everyone has the right to feel good about themselves, unless they're normal and well-adjusted. Her prodigious mass only exasperates this. She's run several classes on the subject of fat politics. Last I heard, she's organizing protests against fat-negative policies. In short, she's the kind of fatty you should hate. Enter junior year. First and second year was a success, ready to fuck bitches as an upperclassman. The first class was with Fat Bitch, who just got back from sabbatical. Urban politics was supposed to be about local policies focusing on LA County. Now is about how fat people suffer because of rich and attractive people. Case study on paparazzis, beach culture, and shit that has nothing to do with politics. Half the class drops in the first week. Unfortunately, it's required in my area emphasis. Fuck me, right? Next class, military history, taught by perfect 5'5" blonde woman. She looked no older than 30. seemed genuinely hyped for class. Started with Battle of Salamis. Very skinny, peppy, and straight up adorable. I figured, fuck fat bitch. This is gonna be a good year. I went to the campus gym later that night. One of my bro-fessers got me access to the faculty gym the year before, and I like the quiet atmosphere and the lack of grunting freshmen. I walk in, and Salamis girl is running on a treadmill. We ended up chatting for about 15 minutes. I learned a little bit more about her. She was a new professor. I wasn't technically employed. She was hoping she could get a more steady job within a few years, but was gonna rough it until then. Semester goes on. Fat bitch gets worse and worse. Salami girl gets better and better. Aced military history final. Professor loves my final paper. Fat bitch fails half of her class, and I barely got by. Salami girl is recommended for a permanent gig at college. She cried when she found out. Final decision at the end of the year, not a single student who doesn't love her. At this point, I had gotten to know her a bit better, and I had gotten a job with her. Some professors would bring their dogs to class. These dogs would usually sit around and do nothing. Between classes, the Dog Lovers Club would pay a few students to play and exercise the dogs. I always make sure to get Salami's little corgi. I fucking love that dog more than any other pet I've had ever since. Now, we're explicitly supposed to exercise these dogs. You can probably guess on the person who hated the dog policy and anyone who took advantage of it. Yeah, fat bitch. She decided to show all of us up one day by bringing her own fucking mutt. It was disgusting. The poor animal was obese. He could barely move. My best bro volunteered for the duty of caring for fat bitches. Bitch. I go outside, play with Corgi for about 15 minutes. I wonder where bro is. Bro is inside. He can't get the fat dog to leave the building. Fat bitch is defending the dog, saying he can't run too much. Bro is explaining that he needs to exercise the dog or else he won't get paid. Fat bitch gets mad and tries to pull the dog away. At this point, Salamis gets back from the class. She walks into the room and sees the dog. Obese piece of shit actually gets up, waddles over to her, and treats the girl like she's the second coming of Ronald McDonald, or whoever got the dogs that fat. The fucking dog, which previously only got up to fart at our business law professor, was now playing with Salami. Naturally, fat bitch got enraged and yanked her dog away. My bro never got paid. We never saw this beast again. Next semester, Salami girl is starting to look stressed. Really stressed. Catch her after hours, crying in the office. Mentioned that she's starting to hate the environment around campus, then asks that I leave. I decided to do a little bit of research. I found out that both Salami and Fat Bitch were teaching a linked course where each professor would teach a separate but closely related class to each other. They were supposed to sit in on each other's classes and provide only basic support. Instead, Fat Bitch had basically taken over both their classes. Salami was lucky if she even got to teach. And she couldn't complain because Fat Bitch was department chair. I decided to complain to the dean because, well, fuck her. I still regret that. I show up after hours, wanting to chill with Salami, maybe see if she wanted to go to the gym. But Fat Bitch is there. You're a fucking fat-shaming slut. I'll bet you fuck your students on the side and you probably love every single second. You made a huge fucking mistake filing that complaint. I'm gonna make you pay for that shit. I clear my throat and make my presence known. Meet eyes with Salami. She's been crying again. Fat Bitch opens her mouth. Oh, fucking great. Another one of your roid-raging boy toys. My face, and I'm not even 140 pounds. I decided to shut her the fuck up. Actually, I filed that complaint on behalf of the Poli-Sci Student Union. Fat Bitch is speechless. Can't say shit because harassment laws protecting students. Fat Bitch leaves with her tail between her legs, and I just kind of stand there in Salami's office. She comes up to me and just hugs me. I really ought to have kissed her, but fuck, man. Year ends, Salami decides to not apply for permanent seat. She ends up teaching at a local community college and moves away after a few years. Fat Bitch gets a heart attack, survives, and now gives emotional speeches about her struggle against a fat, negative society. She's still 300 pounds. And that's it, really. I guess looking back, I should have helped out Salami a bit sooner. Hell, part of me wants to believe that I should have fucked her right there in that gym. But that's probably because I'm a dude and she's an attractive woman. Just remember, Fit, sometimes you can judge a book by its cover. Thoughts as an Indian immigrant from 2004. I'm not doing that the whole time. I immigrated to Canada with my family when I was 10. The main reason my parents decided to move away from India was to escape the negative aspects of India. These include corruption, low living standards, and poor civility amongst the population. My parents wanted better for me and my sister, and thus we moved here. We sacrificed being away from our extended family, cheap food, cheap housemaids. The current government is bringing Canada the very people we ran away from 20 years ago. They are bringing in the poor manners, tolerance of shitty living conditions, erratic driving, incivility while getting on public transit, discriminating hiring, renting practices, and much, much more. The class of Indian immigrants from 1970 to 2013 was educated, or civilized, families. Now it's low-quality international students from rural backwards parts of the country. Think rural Alabama as opposed to New York City. Looking back, the sacrifice we made to come here, it's looking less and less worth it. Why leave India in the first place then? For a few short years of Canadianness? One man has ruined a society, in a few years that it took hundreds of years to build. I am off to the USA soon. They're still good, for now. Yeah, man, they're, Fleckus Talks has talked about this. The old batch of the immigrants, you know, anything like pre-2016, really. You can go back further if you want. But because I'm a sensible centrist, I'll say 2016. Anyone since then really hasn't been good, and probably should have been booted. This is peak female form. Just like male What? I didn't read this all the way. Just like male infants are circumcised, women really ought to have their legs broken upon birth. Holy shit. Counter-protesting and fighting are one way to do things, but humiliating the enemy through their own bad nature without conflict or safety to oneself or platform is the winning move. For this, I propose fake money. It's cheap to buy online, and for more than 3 feet away, it looks quite real. In about 2014, a nightclub in Beijing threw fistfuls into a crowd from a building during New Year's Eve, and it devolved into a panic. The same could be done at any BLM protest. Stand in the middle of the crowd and throw up a few fistfuls. Throw it from a building, drop it from a drone. People have such a guttural reaction to money in the wind. Even if they are reading this post, they are likely to forget about it and react like cattle. The cameras will capture BLM devolve into hedonistic lust of capitalism, and all meaning and message will be instantly lost. This is such an incredible victory and humiliation that it cannot be undone, and all of us can do it anywhere, with little to no threat to ourselves. So I was about to evict this college girl because she hasn't paid in 3 months, but I know she's broke and has no one to rely on. I'm doing fine right now, so I decided to make an offer to her because I was feeling compassionate. She would paint the building and clear the entrance of snow with a shovel until Friday in lieu of rent payment. Do you know what she did? She rejected the offer and offered to fuck me instead. Do you guys have any idea how much she owes me in rent? About $4,500, and I only asked her to paint the fucking building and shovel the snow from the entrance. Does she really think that her used up and worn out vagina is worth $45,000? Wait, no, $4,500? A single fuck? She's just an average looking girl. Premium whores charge less money than that, and they're better looking and developed than a 19-year-old squirt like her. Women truly have an inflated opinion of themselves. Or maybe she looks down on me because I'm not quite a looker and she thinks I'm desperate. In any case, I laughed in her face. It really surprises me how a woman would rather fuck a stranger they are not even attracted to, rather than doing some honest work. Wait, just painting and snow shoveling? Dude, I do that! Be me, armed security, on assignment in an African shithole. A company VIP. It's constant begging, kids/teens/women offering their body. Families attempting to whore their daughters out. Throw them chocolate and some cash. They act like they won the lottery. I have some downtime. I decide to explore. Barely legal and late teens offering their bodies. Men inviting me in for tea and to meet their daughters. Venture in a shadier part of town. Women basically molested every time they pass by someone. Kids sitting on adults' laps, not their father. See dead body. Kids run over, squeezing tits and dry humping the corpse. Old grandmas laugh and throw small rocks at them. Kids get final tit squeeze and kiss before running away. Everyone just walks by the body like it's an old newspaper. I can't tell if it was rape or if some of the kids ripped the clothes and panties off. Wholesome approach me, I guess the misspelling, whatever, can basically sense the AIDS dripping from them. See man about to force a whore to suck his dick in the alleyway. He's grabbing her by her throat and making her wait until he pisses before doing the sexual assault. People all see it, but just kind of laugh and ignore it. Preteen comes over, offers me anything, I do anything you wish, and points to my dick. People see me, 3 more preteens come over, all talking over each other, holding their hands in their mouths, simulating a blowjob. Money, money, I suck at best. evac myself back to the hotel, have a stiff drink and a long shower. I feel like I visited hell. But if we call these countries shitholes, we're the bad ones? What the hell has billions in aid cash bought them? This is probably Congo. Or the DPRC. Because I went to a sub-Saharan African country. And it was bad, but it wasn't this bad. Then again, it was also a much more civilized area. So, but this, yeah, this stuff rings true, unfortunately. I find my transgender friends tiring to be around. Before we start, I obviously have nothing against transgender people, their life choices, etc. I have a couple of friends who over the past 2 years have come out as transgender, and I couldn't be happy for them, because they have a more positive outlook on life. But as time went on, especially with my male to female friends, I started to find their behavior slightly annoying. Their overly fake, high-pitched voices they put on, this behavior is sickeningly flowery and over the top. The constant need for recognition and attention. The immediate drama when someone utters something slightly critical or that collides with their way of thinking. The over-dramatization of every aspect of their life and their ongoing need for validation of their struggle. That was 2 sentences. I might sound tone deaf, but I know them, and they have never had to fight for anything in their life. And now that they transitioned, they sound like they have to fight in the trenches of an ongoing war against the world. Sorry for the rant. Happy New Year. Edit. Didn't think this was going to gain that much traction. Thanks for the awards and the ongoing discussion down in the comments. And also, thank you for the private people messaging me, calling me bigot, transphobic, etc., since you were highlighting exactly what happens when you have an opinion that doesn't follow the current zeitgeist. Edit 2. Since there seems to be a lot of generalization going on below, let me clarify. I am talking about some of my trans friends specifically, and not generalizing the entire community. Yeah, that's how you can tell it was written by a woman.